The assistant chiefs make about $150,000 a year. There's 3 of them. Everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. They make about $150,000. They have top-heavy lieutenants, they have top-heavy captains, and they're top-heavy as far as administrative sergeants go. When I get elected, they're not going to be able to adapt to the change, and I'll get to that change momentarily. By leaving the department and retiring, I am not going to fulfill 2 of those positions as assistant chiefs. I'm not going to be fulfilling all the positions of captains, lieutenants, and or administrative sergeants. What I plan on doing is taking that money and funneling it back into the department to get more deputies on the street. You get more deputies on the street, that's going to be a higher visibility of law enforcement. That is community policing, folks. That is preventing crime from happening. The second thing I'm going to be implementing is that not only will myself, my assistant chief, my captains, my lieutenants, and my administrative sergeants are going to be patrolling the streets 8 to 12 hours a week. What does that do? Higher visibility. How else does that benefit you? It keeps these officers and these commanders in tune with what's going on in the community. They're not going to be complacent coming into work at 10 o'clock in the morning, sitting behind a desk and start implementing policy or doing administrative work when they're out of touch with reality. I lived it. I've seen it. I'll give you an example real quick. There was a deputy about 8 years ago made a traffic stop in Arivaca. As she was approaching the vehicle, 2 people got out with assault weapons and started shooting at her, wounded her, shot her in the leg. She recovered, went behind the vehicle, started returning fire. 2 codes law enforcement know, 998, 999. There is a difference, not much. One is officer involved in shooting, the other one is officer needs help right away, basically. Long story, just to make it easy for you folks. She yelled out 999. Help arrived, situation under control, bad guys arrested. 2 weeks later, she gets a letter of reprimand because she used 999 instead of 998. This is the political backlash that this department has been implementing since I've been here in Tucson for 13 years. I still have friends in the department that still complain, say, we need a change. My objective is to retire Dutnick. That's the bottom line. The objective of these 3 candidates here also are to retire Dutnick. Clarence is my opponent. By putting more people on the street, it's going to prevent crime and it's going to deter it. That's the objective with question number 2. Question number 3 is, what are your plans to reform and improve the Sheriff's Department, and what changes will you take in the implementation of SWAT? That's a 2-part question. The first portion, I believe I addressed in correlation with the second question here, and that's to get more police out on the street, more deputies, more visibility. That's the intent. As far as SWAT goes, SWAT is highly trained in tactics, unlike your street cops. Okay? A street cop is trained for survival and how to enforce the law and how to respond to a type of crisis. But when you come across an organization such as the drug cartels, where they're highly organized, they have billions of dollars to protect their illegal activities, you need somebody who can equal that. The SWAT team gets implemented when there is a viable threat. And come on, folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When you have drugs and you have human smuggling, 99% of the time there's going to be weapons involved. You can't take a knife to a gun show. You just can't. The only thing we can do is try to give them more training. We have officers that from multiple jurisdictions as part of the regional SWAT team. I don't know what their training schedule is. I don't know how often. It could be once a year. That's what they have to qualify for with their weapons. It could be multiple times a year. One of the promises I will make to you is by looking at the policies, I plan on keeping the SWAT team intact. They will be utilized to execute on search warrants, but they're going to be better trained to do so. And it's not so much the training of the SWAT team. It's the information that is being relayed to them as well. And that comes down to an investigation.
Terry,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That comes down to investigating. If you have a thorough investigation, you're going to have a situation under control rather quickly without loss of bodies. The fourth is, how do you plan to improve media relations such as unified community and provide assurances? My message since I started back in December 2010 has to outreach with the local community leaders. Right now, there is issues between the command staff and with Tucson Police Department, which is the largest agency here, and the SO. There is no communication. First thing I'm going to do is call everybody up, all the chiefs, as well as the mayors and all the civic leaders, and I'd like to get them in one room and find out what their concerns are. If I know their concerns, I can address them. I'll know what they expect from me, and I can tell them what I expect from them. I would reach out to TO, which is to Odom, and I would reach out to Pasquayaki. These are two law enforcement agencies that don't get enough recognition. I would recruit them because of the fact that I plan on forming a task force to help with the border crimes. I'm not here to secure the border. I'm here to prevent crime from coming into it, because it's just not trespassing, folks. They're carrying drugs and they're human smuggling. They burglarize houses. That's property crime. Property crime is a seat of violence for homicides, home invasions, burglaries, and every other crime that feeds off it. By trying to reduce property crime, you're going to try and curb the higher crime as well. My name is Terry Frederick. I am a candidate for the Pima County Sheriff's Office. My website is frederickforsheriff.com. I need support, I need votes, I need petition signed, and most of all, I need money just like everybody else. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.